Wonders of Chemistry with Mickey G, and today we'll be looking at molar mass calculations, and the example that we're going to begin with today is calcium carbonate. I've also created a table for you, a bit like a recipe that if you follow, you should always get the correct answer. So the first thing that we need to work out is how many of each of these elements do we have in this compound? Well, we've got one calcium, we've got one carbon, and we have 3 oxygens. Then we need to go to the periodic table to find the atomic mass of each of these elements. And for today's presentation, I'll be using whole numbers just to make life easier. So calcium, approximate atomic mass is about 40 grams, while carbon is around 12 and oxygen is around 16. The next step is to multiply the number of calciums by its atomic mass. So 1 times 40 will give us 40 grams. And we repeat that procedure with the remaining elements. So 1 times 12 for carbon, because it's 12, gives us 12 grams, and 3 times 16 gives us 48 grams. And finally, we total that up to give us 100 grams. So 100 grams is the molar mass for calcium carbonate. Okay, let's have a look at another example. Okay, so we've got a compound here called ammonium sulfate. Okay, so let's see how to tackle this. Again, let's begin with the elements. Well, we know we've got nitrogen in blue, and we have 1 nitrogen within the ammonium ion, but we've got a 2 on the outside of the bracket, so 2 times 1 gives us 2. We've got 4 hydrogens, but outside the brackets we've got a 2, so 2 times 4 gives us 8 hydrogens. We've got 1 sulfur, and we have 4 oxygens. Okay, the mass of nitrogen approximately is 14. The mass of hydrogen is approximately 1. The mass of sulfur is approximately 32, just using whole numbers. And the mass of oxygen is approximately 16. Okay, so the next step is to multiply all these numbers to give us totals. So 2 times 14 gives us 28. 8 times 1 gives us 8. 1 times 32 gives us 32. And 4 times 16 gives us 64. And this gives us a total of 132 grams, which happens to be the molar mass or formula mass for ammonium sulfate. Okay, let's try one more. In this example, we have ethanol with 2 carbons, hydrogens, we've got 5 here and 1 there, which gives us 6. And finally, we have 1 oxygen. Mass of carbon is approximately 12 grams within the periodic table. Hydrogen, 1, and oxygen, 16. Next step, we've got to multiply these values. So 2 times 12 gives us 24 grams. 6 times 1 gives us 6. And 1 times 16 gives us 16 grams. So if we total that, we get 46 grams, which is the molar mass of ethanol. So the key here with questions such as this is to look for each of these elements. Don't assume that all the elements will be bundled up. You can see that here the hydrogens have been separated, and unless you took account of that hydrogen there, you would have got a number 1 less than it should have been for the molar mass of ethanol.